Well folks, I have a habit of picking a vehicle that no longer exists. Some of the sedans that we did this year I picked specifically because they were killed off, but I actually booked this vehicle a few weeks before the announcement was made by Nissan Canada that the Titan was being killed off for our market. Our spotlight is on this 2020 Nissan Titan Crew Cab Pro-4X luxury 4x4 pickup truck. And yes, it is dying in Canada after 2021. MSRP for this truck is $69,998 Canadian. You can get the Platinum Reserve that adds a little bit more leather on the inside, but for the most part, this is what you get. They've been reducing what you can get on the Titans for a few years now. Last year, Nissan announced that the 5-liter V8 turbo diesel Cummins engine was no longer going to be offered on their XD heavy-duty trucks, and now here we are. They're no longer offering the Titan across the board here in Canada after 2021. Now what we've got here is the facelift for 2020. We get an updated front end look with the double boomerang LED daytime running lights and an improved LED headlight setup, which Nissan says has improved by 120% over the old headlights found on the Titan. We get a new front bumper, fog lights, badging, wheels, and this red alert paint on the Pro-4X trim. Now across the board, the Titans are all going to be powered by a single engine choice, the 5.6 liter Endurance V8 gas engine. It did get a power boost to 400 horsepower, 413 pound-feet of torque, and interestingly, this uses a Mercedes-Benz 9G-tronic 9-speed automatic transmission. A couple things are standard now for 2020, like the Nissan Safety Shield 360. You get lane departure warning, forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, rear emergency braking, blind spot warning with rear cross traffic alert, driver alertness, forward collision warning, hill start assist, and high beam assist. Now the title of this video is the worst selling pickup truck in America, and you know me, I don't do clickbait. Even if I did, nobody's gonna watch my video still, so it doesn't matter if I do it or not. It is really the worst selling pickup truck both in the United States and here in Canada. For 2019, Canadian sales were down 48.45% to 2,807 units, down from 5,445 in 2018. So far in 2020, I know it's a bad year for everybody, but so far from January until June, they've only sold 800. 800. This is a facelift, and they sold 800. In fact, there are dozens of brand new 2019 Titan and Titan XDs for sale across Canada on autotrader.ca. Keep in mind, because a dealer has to pay for every listing they put on AutoTrader, they're not going to put their full inventory of new vehicles. So dozens and dozens of 2019s with no mileage on it, and the 2020s are we're at the end of 2020 now. 2021 should be coming out for most manufacturers. These things just aren't selling. In the US, sales were down 37.55% in 2019. They sold 31,514, and that was down from 50,459 in 2018. Also from January until June 2020, they've sold 12,197 of them. So again, trending very poorly, considering the other full-size pickup trucks are doing pretty darn well. Now keep in mind, Nissan does not distinguish between their Titan and Titan XD sales the same way the Ford F-Series is lumped up into one giant sales number. So we don't know how many people are going for the XD or the regular ones, but honestly, I mean, the sales numbers just ain't looking good at all. Now, as I mentioned, the Cummins turbo diesel V8 engine was dropped for the XD. If you want a 2019, you can get that. The facelift kind of freshens things up a little bit on the outside here. One of the things that I will tell you about the rear end on this truck is it does not use a central locking system for the tailgate. I actually got two keys, the same Nissan key fob that I had on my 2010 Altima, and a regular key, which is actually the exact same key cut on the key fob version, but they give you like an old school key as well, because you have to manually lock the tailgate. If you lock the truck, it does not lock the tailgate. So keep that in mind. I mean, most of the trucks that we've tested, they do that with the central locking system. This one doesn't. There's a few other things that we're going to talk about when we take it on for a road test that I just really hate about this truck. So it really is no surprise to me why sales are down. It does not surprise me that Nissan Canada has decided to axe the Titan in this country, because the sales just don't support it. this uses an updated 8-inch infotainment system. You have navigation, a 12-speaker Fender audio system, heat and ventilated front seats, power driver seat with 2 memory options. The passenger only gets 4-way adjustment, not much there, essentially forward and back, and the backrest goes forward or back. You can't change the height on it. There's no lumbar support. You have dual zone automatic climate control, heated outboard rear seats with vents in the center console, plus USB charging back there. And we also have one USB-C charging port in the center stack. We do get the panoramic sunroof with the luxury trim on this. We also have the 360-degree camera, though I find that the quality is really bad, pretty similar, in fact, to what we talked about a couple years ago when we did the Nissan Juke. It's pretty much the same 360 camera on here. Looks like they're using BlackBerry cameras and a BlackBerry screen to actually display the images, so not very good quality there. One thing you have on this over the current F-150 is front parking sensors. I don't know why Ford doesn't put that on, but you do have front and rear parking sensors on this vehicle, on top of that pretty low quality 360 camera. We have intelligent cruise control, which is Nissan's way of saying adaptive cruise control, and then everything else is pretty much what you would expect in a full-size pickup truck. We have the ability to switch between 2-wheel drive, 4 high and 4 low. There isn't an option on the transfer case selector to go into neutral. You do have an electronic brake assist system for your trailer. You have traction control, parking sensors, and all the other fun buttons there, plus your heated steering wheel. And then you also have an option to be able to adjust the headlights manually. It doesn't use an automatic self-leveling headlight system, so if you read the owner's manual, it'll tell you which number you should put it at, depending on if you have load in the back or passengers or a trailer. Gross vehicle weight rating of this Nissan Titan is 7,300 pounds. It is a hefty boy with all of the features on here, meaning our payload is down to 1,267 pounds for this specific truck. Max towing on the Titan when equipped properly is 9,210 pounds. Given how heavy this vehicle is, that number is going to be a lot lower. Plus, we have the 4-wheel drive. They say that that number only comes with 2-wheel drive on the smallest bed, smallest cab, which they don't even offer here anymore in Canada. We have a 139.8-inch wheelbase, smaller than an F-150 Limited with the short bed, long cab, and we have about a 5.5-foot bed on this. So again, on the smaller side of things, this is essentially the only way that it comes here in Canada now. They've dropped all the other options, all the other cab and bed configurations for this vehicle. And again, after 2021, we're not sure yet if it means after 2021 they're trying to get rid of all of these, or if there will be a 2021 model year, they will no longer be selling the Titan. So get it while it lasts. But anyway, we need to take this truck on the road, talk about how it performs, handles, drives, and everything else you need to know if you are in the market for a Nissan Titan and you want to know everything about it. What's the point of watching a review if all it's going to talk about is all the features and everything and just gloat about how great the truck is? You come to a video like this because you want to hear the things that maybe other websites, other videos, they're just too afraid to say because they want to have a good relationship with the manufacturer, or they don't notice these things because they don't care. I'm telling you about the things that make this truck just impossible to live with. First thing, biggest thing, is this engine. I don't know what's going on with it. Watch, I'm coming up to a 4-way stop. It's 3-way. Okay, I've stopped. Gas, gas, gas. Oh, there we go. There's like a full second and a half delay when this truck comes to a stop before the accelerator does anything. I am putting it to the floor and it is doing absolutely nothing. This has been consistent the entire time I've had this vehicle. I will show you again as we come up to the next stop sign. But basically, when you come to a stop, it's almost like there is an auto stop start system, which there isn't. It's kind of putting the engine into a low power mode, and it's not anticipating that you're going to be needing the engine again. It's like, oh, you've come to a stop, you must be done with your day. Why would you ever need power again? So my problem is I come to a stop, and if there's another person who's arrived around the same time, even though it's my right of way, because it takes so long to get going, the other person thinks, hey, it's time for me to go. Again, delay. Why? Why? It's so annoying. This is honestly making me not want to drive this truck. I don't know what the problem is. I don't think it's the transmission, because we've driven other 9G-tronic transmissions from Mercedes-Benz. It works fine. It's got to be something with the engine control module on this, or just the way the engine and everything is mapped. But oh my God, I honestly don't want to drive this truck because of how annoying this is. every single time I come to a stop, it does it. It should not be the way it is. And that's my number one complaint. Everything else about this truck is fine. It doesn't excel at anything, and that's sort of an issue. If you're looking in this super competitive market of North American pickup trucks, you really need to have a compelling reason to buy it. Pricing, it's not there, especially with the way that the manufacturers from the American brands can offset the cost by doing heavy incentives. That's not the reason you're going to be buying this. Simplicity, maybe, if you want no frills, no mess, you need a truck, you kind of understand what you need to be doing with it, but you don't want to have to deal with rear axle ratios and engine choices and bed configurations. You just need something, okay, then the simplicity of this maybe works for some people. But I mean, the inside here it's just okay. I mean, I would say that the current generation, the outgoing generation F-150 feels more modern than this. It just doesn't feel updated in here. The infotainment is okay, but not great. Backup camera and 360 camera, they're pretty terrible. The one thing you have going for it is the seats. They are comfortable, but you know, it's hard for me to understand why 800 people bought this truck this year in Canada instead of buying a Ford F-150. I'm thinking the people who are buying this, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, I hate to offend people out there, please don't take this as an insult, but I just feel that the people who are buying this, there's that lag again, probably really like Nissans. Maybe you've got a Nissan or an Infiniti already and you want to stay with the brand. The other thing too is maybe they've got good fleet deals, you know, whether it's a rental company or construction companies. Maybe if they're buying 10, 15 of them, they're getting a better deal because, you know, with Ford, everybody's buying fleet. Maybe Nissan has a little bit more flexibility. But I mean, I just came off driving the Ford F-250 Super Duty. Forget about the fact that it is a heavy-duty truck compared to this. I mean, just the way that that vehicle felt on the inside, it just felt better. I'd rather spend my money on a F-150 than on this. So I can't understand. So let me know in the comments below. If you've bought a new Nissan Titan, a 2019, 2020, let me know why you bought it. Is it because you are a existing Nissan customer, or did you just get the best deal of the century? Because those 2019s that are available on AutoTrader, they're not very well discounted, especially the ones with 0 mileage on it. It's basically the same price as this. I would get this over the 2019, but I don't know, I would not get this over the F-150. Just in case you, for some reason, don't believe me about this throttle delay, I will tell you. I can't film it, I can't show you exactly what's going on. I have to kind of explain it to you, but here we are, we're coming up to a stop, so foot's on the brake, foot's on the brake, foot's on the brake, we're coming, slowing down. Okay, so I have stopped. See, like, as soon as I've fully stopped, because there was nobody else at the four-way, it's my turn to go. Now, I know that there are people out there who think you have to stop for 45 seconds at a stop sign before you can go again. You don't. As soon as you stop and it's your right of way, you can go. But for some reason, that delay exists. So here we go. We're going to do it again. I'm going to try. It's not easy. We're stopping. Full stop. Gas, 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 gas. Now we're going. And again, because I'm putting my foot down, it's like, now it didn't chirp the tires there, but it did before. You heard it. I did a little burnout. Nothing I have done fixes this problem. I put it into tow mode, thinking maybe, you know, some trucks like Ram, you put it in tow mode, it's more or less like a sport mode, right? It is meant for towing, but maybe I thought, okay, yeah, if it's in tow mode, maybe it says, hey, you know, there's some weight on the back of this, we need to be able to go when he says go. That didn't do anything. So let's try, you and I will figure this out together. Let's put it into 4 high, probably not gonna do anything. But when we come to a stop and try to go again, I'm feeling we're gonna have the same issue we've been having. So we're gonna stop, and then there's nothing, and then now we go. Oh my God, it's terrible. Let's put it back into 2. Honestly, I really hate having to be so negative on a review, but that's the reality. I mean, this is what happens with the truck. I'm trying to drive it normally, and I'm having significant power delivery issues. This delay is really bothering me. And the problem is, if you're buying this truck, you're gonna have this problem too. And I guarantee you, you're not gonna like it. I can't imagine anybody on this earth that will say to you, oh yeah, you know what? I really like when I'm at a stop sign and I try to go that there's just no power. It's like it's turned itself off without actually turning itself off. Nobody wants that. That's one of the #1 complaints that I have when we're featuring a vehicle with an auto stop start system that isn't calibrated well. That's even worse on this, because at least with the auto stop start system, you can tell when the vehicle turns back on. This just doesn't do it. So I'm sorry. Much like the Jeep Grand Cherokee that we did a couple weeks ago, where I said I don't know why anybody should buy it, but I'm glad that it exists. I'm not saying that you should not buy that Jeep, but honestly, do not buy this. There are much better options out there. The F-150 being the best option. The Ram 1500 is so good too. And I'm not a huge fan of the Chevy GMCs that we drove because they just didn't do anything for 2019. But get that, get the Toyota over this. Like, there just isn't a compelling reason to buy this. And maybe I've missed it, but in the time that I have been driving this so far, I'm telling you right now, I have not figured it out. Maybe there's somebody smarter out there who has. But I would just skip this real hard. Really, really hard.